Oh, and we are live. Sweet, 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 sweet. Hopefully everyone's doing good. So this is kind of impromptu, mainly. You can hear the second cam. Hopefully there's no echo. So this is a little bit impromptu. Um, we were supposed to have a few guests, and life happens, which is absolutely a-okay. Um, Things happen. So today we're going to be just discussing for a little bit. I'm going to cover the iPad a little bit. I can hear the audio. There we go. That, hopefully there's no echo, because the nice thing about doing these live discussions is the fact that once I'm done and the live stream's over, it just goes straight back to YouTube and you guys can check it out at any point. But we're going to be talking about 7 years of Shin Godzilla, which pretty much is just going to be me just discussing and just fangirling over this movie. I absolutely love Shin Godzilla. It is one of, well, it's my favorite movie, period. It's my favorite Godzilla movie. It is my favorite movie. It's my favorite TV show, all that stuff. It is my favorite everything. And I have a lot to say about this movie, I guess. So if you're watching after the stream, hopefully you guys enjoy. It'll probably be only about an hour. I had someone say they might show up a little bit later, and if they don't, that's absolutely okay. But we'll keep it to just about an hour. So, Shin Godzilla. It's, as the title suggests, it is probably the most divisive Shin Godzilla, or the most divisive movie released thus far up until -1 this year of 2023. Um, because it's a real back and forth with these these movies, but Shin especially. Like, I remember when Shin Godzilla got announced, or it started getting teased, and there was a lot of hype. Just the same for -1. In fact, -1 is following almost the exact footprints that Shin Godzilla is, and that is very interesting to see, where we get a teaser of the design or a teaser of the poster, emblem that they're using, and everyone's building a pipe, and then we get our first little snippet of it, and then depending on, the community is split in half. Some people are really excited, and some people aren't. And then people just kind of go wild after that. For -1, we still haven't gotten the full first trailer. But when the first trailer for Shin Godzilla came out, it was wild. It was crazy. I remember seeing the design, and I just fell in love with it almost immediately. Well, just the silhouette, even from the poster that we got, I fell in love with this design instantly. I was completely impressed and immaculated by how disturbing, how almost horror uh, the horror elements of this design really came in. And the stare, the teeth, it's just, Shin is a very special design, I think. Magic in a bottle. It's the same with like the 74 and the Burning Godzilla 95 specifically, and 99 for me. It's magic in a bottle, which I know technically magic in a bottle should really only happen once, but Toho really knows how to get. And the 54 design, yeah, it's really impressive how unique Shin Godzilla is comparatively, especially when we're talking about figures and just what they're able to do with this design. It's really, really impressive at how different yet similar he is to his past incarnations as well. And the movie itself is very different yet familiar. Hideaki Anno and Shinji Higuchi are the directors and producers for this movie, Hideaki Anno. Evangelion, we all know this. This is pretty much just things that have been rehashed over and over and over and over again. Um, but his political satire um, element to the movie for me is actually super enjoyable, especially I think as we go on, uh, you know, I live in the US, as we go on since the movies come out, I feel like the movie hits more and more and more and more and more at home, and is a really good way to describe our political infrastructure as well. Um, in in some ways, not in all of them, because in Japan, it's really hard to make a military action. It's really hard to make decisions. There's meetings and meetings and meetings. Where in the U.S., it's just like you get you get people in charge who are hair triggers, and they're just like military, military, military. So, and it doesn't matter what side of the political stream it is. I'm not calling out one or the other. It's both. They both suck. Um, so, oh, there we go. We're getting a little political, but that's a big part of this movie is the political, uh, parody. This movie is it's retelling 311 with Godzilla, and it's although it's a satire, I feel like how serious this movie is as well is pretty ingrained deep. I've watched this movie a lot since I saw it the first time in 2017. I've watched it repeatedly. You know, I grew up with a handful of Godzilla movies, and I would say I've seen Shin Godzilla almost as much as I've seen any of those. And that's saying a lot because I watched Gigan, Megalon, 74, 75, 99, 98, and uh, Godzilla's Revenge 69 a lot. I have seen those movies a lot. And I would say Shin Godzilla is getting close to that. And kind of the best part about it is I can just keep watching it. It's like 74 for me. It's like 99. Uh, it's like Destroya. I can literally just sit down and watch this movie. Even if I'm doing other stuff like on my phone, or, like last night, the girlfriend and I were enjoying the movie, drinking some wine, relaxing. Um, I was still able to pay attention to the movie while still being on my phone and still really enjoy it for what it is. And for the first time in a while, um, you know, watching it not sober, there's a few parts that are still very emotional in the movie. Um, there's a few parts. I would say there's three main, well, four technically. There's four really, five. Damn, I should have came a little prepared. Today has been weird, guys. I apologize. Today is not going quite as planned. I woke up really late, so I did not get to advertise for the stream. We have one person watching. Hello, hello. How's it going? Um, Today I slept in and that threw everything out of the loop. So I apologize if I'm a little scatterbrained. But there's five main scenes I think in Shin Godzilla for me personally that are standout, and I mean they bring the emotions. So the first one um, is when Kamada-kun, the second form, first makes landfall. I think that scene is such an important introduction to this Godzilla. The wading through the water, blowing everything up, just hitting things, just moving aimlessly, and then you know, he can't go on land. He's gonna, his weight will crush his legs, and then he'll suffocate and die. And then he literally gets up, crushes a family in a building, and is just tearing the city apart. Is really a real big tone adjustment. I feel like, especially the global side of things, not really the Japan side of things. We're probably expecting this movie to be a bit goofy, and there are goofy parts in it, but I think that is the first tone setting scene in the movie where you're just like, oh, this is not a Showa film. This is closer to a Millennium film or even some of the Heisei films. You know, a little bit more serious. Yes, it has jokes, especially in the English dub. The English dub in this movie is pretty good, but we'll talk about that a bit later. Um, so there's the Kamada-kun second form making landfall is a big one. The next one is when the fourth form arrives, the big boy. It's There's something about it. The Godzilla theme is going. He's making landfall. We're getting all the close-ups, and it's just awe-inspiring. It's grotesque. It's such a unique moment because it's a scene that pretty much every single Godzilla film has, and almost every single Godzilla film since the Showa era uses that theme, and it's pretty much always the same. Godzilla walks up on another kaiju or walks up alone, and then that theme in a lot of movies, not all of them, but in a lot of them, in some way, shape, or form, that track plays. And that's just a really fun scene to see, and see it done again. And I think Shin Godzilla does it really well. You know, it's the government being like, oh shit, what Godzilla's made landfall. Yakuji being awoken, I feel like is, when you look at it from a cinematic storytelling perspective, I feel like that's the perfect way to go through this kind of gag scene of being like, yo, you need to take a shower, you need to change your clothes, and then it cuts to him just being slumped over. I've been there a lot, being slumped over. I've fallen asleep in this chair in this room quite a few times like that. And then just having him being awoken and be like, yo, Godzilla's made a landfall, and then it just cuts to the fourth form, just coming out of the sea, people running, and then he starts destroying things just aimlessly, is a really, really, really cinematic success for the film, I think, for a Godzilla landfall and a full-fledged Godzilla reveal. Hello, another person's watching. Hello, hello, how's it going? Um, Let me know who's watching. Leave a comment. I'm watching comments here. Down below, I've got the iPad down here. So, um, the next film, or the next scene, which I would probably group it in as my favorite scene from the movie. I'll call it the Avengers Endgame scene of the movie, is at night when Godzilla is walking, he's glowing red, and the Americans drop the stealth bombers on Godzilla, and he bleeds, and he leans over, and he gets back up, and for one of the only times, you know, Shin Godzilla in fourth form doesn't roar a lot. He really only roars in defense. Otherwise, he is completely just characterless. He is, well, not characterless, he's stoic. He's very just emotionless. But it's when he's hurt or when he's really getting screwed, he roars. So when he reaches up, he roars, mouth closes, reopens up, and then that jaw splits, and he leans over, the eyelids go up, and he starts glowing purple. It is breathtaking. I love the way Ano decided to create that scene, to craft that scene, the location, the lighting, the colors, and then Godzilla blows his smokestack into all of Tokyo, lighting it all with smoke, and then leans up with the atomic breath finally starting, and we get that perfect pink, purple. There's a car alarm going out outside. Oops, sorry guys. And that purple beam starts happening. He raises it up, hits the first one. They come back around, closes his jaw, obviously very pissed, and then the back beams start. It is breathtaking. I love that scene. I really, 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 really would love a X Plus or an Omega Beast or a Spiral Studios version of that scene with the beams. I want just beams protruding out. I want him leaned over like that. I get the gigantic is kind of in that pose, but he needs to be more forward. So they could take the liberty of making him a little bit smaller or compact, but then have all the beams coming out of his back, and I think that'd be the perfect figure. Honestly, even more than the Awakening that's about to come out, the Yuji Sakai Shin Godzilla that's coming out at the end of the year, the awakening. That's the tail beam scene. I want the back beam scene. That's my favorite scene in the whole movie is that movie. Or is that scene, is the tail or the back beams. It is awesome. I love it. I it's just really surprising. I really want to go on YouTube and see if I can't get audience reactions to that scene because I remember when the leaked videos, the leaked photographs from the premiere came out, and that scene was in a set of them and the tail beam, and people were just like, "No, no, it's not real. It can't be real." They wouldn't do that, and then the 29th comes and everyone's talking about it, and I just remember being completely like swerved by it. I was just like, I don't care that it's a solo film anymore. This is different. This is very unique, and it's just really, really it's breathtaking. The other two scenes are pretty similar actually. So the fourth scene for me actually happens directly after, and it's when Yakuji is it's kind of like slowed down and he's walking and he's injured coming out from the underground, and there's the radio announcers kind of talking in the morning, talking about the devastation and the radiation, and they compare it to the bomb drops, the two bombs that dropped in Japan. It's heartbreaking, and then that scene is later boosted by when our lovely American secretary is talking about, hey, they're going to drop a bomb on Japan. And I don't want to see that because my grandmother lived through the first one. And those two scenes collectively are really, really intelligently added in. This movie isn't necessarily a nuclear warning movie, but it gets hues of it from those scenes, and it's really, really important that those were added in and those were fleshed out because they're big moments. They're very big heart string pullers, in my opinion. It's in either sub or dub. I think when you look at the dub, critically, there's a lot of scenes that are goofy and there's a lot of weird deliveries. You know, going back to the back scene when they drop bombs on the first one and they're telling the cabinet that, oh, Godzilla's been hit. The one English dub guy that's like, good job, USA. It's just like, it's dumb. It's silly. It is a weird delivery. Um, it's very just like, you know, you can tell it's an American saying it about American things. You know, it's funny. But that scene, you know, when they're talking about the bomb being dropped, is our two really main protagonists. The English dub actress does really, really well, in my opinion, on being able to try to replicate that emotional moment for that actress. I think she did pretty well. It's not perfect, but it's better than her just kind of like saying it monotone. Like you can tell it's a forced break. It sounds like, at least maybe that the voice actress did get emotional. You know, it's a big scene and it's heartbreaking to think about. Um, but it's a big scene, and that's my takeaway from the movies. Those are the five scenes that I hold very dear. Obviously, the ending, the trail, you know, the train bombs, and the the coagulant, you know, injection, and the final roar of Godzilla, you know, as he's freezing is incredible. And then the last scene with the reveal of the tail and the Shin humanoids is great. I get not everyone's a fan of, especially, I feel like it's an Ano thing where the third chapter of his movies, a lot of people seem to just kind of fall off. That's the one thing I hear about the Shin trilogy so far, is people kind of get a little about the final act, but I think they're really good in all three, especially like Shin Kamen Rider. Really good final act. A lot of stuff happens. Excuse me, but it's incredible. So, before we continue rambling, we're going to move forward a little bit. So, I want to, and I kind of talked about it there, my first time seeing the movie, 2017. The Blu-ray just came out in the US. That's when I saw it. I didn't get to see it in theaters, um, which even now, 7 years later, I still haven't seen it in theaters. So, G-Fest, get your ass in gear and play the movie at the theaters. Please, please, please. You deny me of Shin Man. I want to see Shin Godzilla in the theaters. I do. And I would love to see it with Godzilla fans. Because I could just go to my movie theater, rent it out for $280 and watch it. That's great. I'll probably do that. But I want to see it with fans too. And that's like a big thing. I want to see it in a group. I want to see a lot of Godzilla movies in a group. But Shin Godzilla, man, I love it. So, but the first time I saw it, 2017, I had just moved to the previous town I was in, not the current one, the last one. The first time I moved there, fully. And I remember I was super broke. I was in between a job. I was transferring through a job, but the one job I didn't get enough hours on, so the paycheck was super light. And I had a concert within like a few days that week. So I remember like I had like $150 to my name. I remember going to Walmart and seeing Shin Godzilla at that Walmart. And I decided then and there that I'm buying it. I'm not playing around. I was waiting for it in my hometown, and at least when I was there, it didn't arrive. And, or no, it was August 2nd, so I was already moved. Excuse me. So I got it. I got it on release day. I bought it on release day. And I remember buying it, and that was the first thing I did. I got my stuff moved down into the basement, hooked up my Xbox, and I set up one of my cheap plastic shelves, cheaper than the ones that I have behind me. And I plugged my 360 in. I put that disc in the disc tray, and I watched Shin Godzilla for the first time. And it was just incredible. I fell in love with it. I remember, I at the time I was a versus guy. I wanted to see Godzilla fight things. So when Shin Godzilla was announced to be a solo Godzilla film, I was a little disappointed. But then, magic in a bottle for me. It just clicked. It really clicked. And it clicked beforehand. Once the leaks came out, we learned about all the differences and read all the videos explaining what happens in the movie. I already knew what happened. Um, I watched all the spoilers and stuff. So I watched clips, the leaked clips that were out. Naughty, naughty. Um, but now that we are, now that I was sitting down and watching it, I fell in love with it immediately. Shin Godzilla, after my first watch, became one of my favorite Godzilla movies. Instantly. I was enamored with this movie. I loved this movie. I loved the way it was directed, the cinematography. At the time I hadn't watched Evangelion, so Hideaki Anno was just a, how to say it respectfully. He's just a director of a Godzilla film, another, like a director getting one film to direct and produce. And I knew it was big. I knew it was hype. I knew because people were talking about Evangelion. The Evangelion fan base was blowing up because they were like, our last film is getting delayed because of this. Screw you. And then they all saw it. And then they're like, never mind. It's okay. We can wait for Evangelion 4.44 plus 1.0. Which at the time it wasn't named that. It was just Evangelion, Shin Evangelion 4. But I remember watching that fan base blow up and then kind of retract a little bit because of Shin Godzilla. And then, I wasn't where I'm at now, where I have completely fallen in love with the Evangelion universe, the characters. I've watched Neon Genesis, both the old films and all four of the new films. Watched hours and hours and hours of theory videos. This is, now Hideaki Anno is my favorite director, one of my favorite directors. He's, I have a lot of respect for him and Shinji Higuchi, both of them. They're like a pair for me, and now seeing Shin Ultraman, Shin Kamen Rider, I hope a Shin Gamera happens, man. Hey, I hope so. I would love to see a Shin Gamera film. That'd be just impressive, but we'll see. Maybe, maybe. Higuchi's schedule is open, supposedly. Shinji Higuchi's, so maybe. Very exciting for the future, but you know, I like the way the movie's directed. I like the weird camera angles, the different camera angles. It's a fun movie to watch after a few times. I feel like the one thing that is hard, I mean, even after watching it a bunch of times, it's still kind of hard, is the subtitles. Every cabinet member, every assistant cabinet, all of them just get a little subtitle line, all of them. And there's sometimes where the screen is literally filled with subtitles. Oh, we got two people watching. Hello. Thank you for stopping out. Um, the film can be a little tough to watch, but personally for me, I get used to it, even in the Japanese original audio with subtitles. I, it's not too much. I think that's one of the turnoffs for the film for a lot of people is watching it and then just seeing subtitle everywhere, and then the actual subtitles for the dialogue if you're watching the sub version, the OG audio gets thrown around because everyone's talking and they're showing their um, their level in the government, their job, and it is a little crazy, and I feel like the last two Shin movies learned from that. I feel like he was like, okay, maybe that was a little crazy, but it's important for the satire side of the movie. It's very important, and I can respect that they continued to go like that, and they did that for the American audience as well as the Japanese audience and the global audience. So, how's it going today? Let me know down below who's watching. Let me know. Post a comment. I'm watching. I got the iPad down here. Hopefully everyone's doing okay today. Um, just sitting here talking about Shin. My favorite film, obviously. I've got so many Shin Godzilla, um, which is kind of a great segue. I've talked about the film for about 30 minutes, and I did a 5-year discussion video talking about the film, and I feel like now is a good time to move. Now that there was going to be a few guests, and especially my friend Adam Thirsty Thursday Toys. He was in Japan when the movie came out, but schedules changed. This was kind of a last minute decision to make the stream, um, especially because I woke up late. Everything's a little behind, but um, I hope he's doing good. Life happens. And I will have to get him in for a video or a live stream or something just to talk about it, because I want to get a group together of fellow collectors and fellow fans of people that were in Japan and saw the movie in Japanese theaters when it came out. I feel like that would be such a fun stream. And then I would still like to do a stream of a bunch of us who either saw it in theaters on the US side or globally, or saw it home video release. I feel like that would be fun, just seeing the differences, but also seeing the similarities. But because talking about the film has been done to hell, I want to switch over and start talking about the collectible, kind of the impact in the movie, rather than just talking about the film. The impact to Shin, the sum up, in a really small baked beans can is it blew up. Shin Godzilla, I would say, is maybe not more sellable than the Heisei Godzilla design yet, but it is up there. Those two are like neck and neck. Toho can't decide which Godzilla it wants to make more of, or which design they want to use for advertising and marketing. It is literally just these two back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's either a Heisei Godzilla or it's a Shin Godzilla, and it's just back and forth, back and forth. I mean, look at how many exclusive Bandai Movie Monster series figures there are, and how many color schemes. I've forgotten how many there are. There's like almost 20 or 30. There's a lot, and some of those original 2016 and 2017 ones are really expensive. I made a goal 2 years ago that I was going to try to complete the set, which I've kind of given up on, especially after last night, after waiting and waiting and waiting for the Wonderfest exclusives to drop and seeing prices. Um, I was just looking through the Shin Godzilla page just in general because I got a bunch of like just small, inexpensive Shin Godzilla stuff, just small stuff, cheap folders. I got a finger puppet. I got some plushies, stuff like that, cheap stuff. And some of those original ones, like the original clear purple translucent, the original red, are like almost as much as the SHMA Awakening goes for now, like a couple $100. So you probably won't be seeing me complete the Bandai Shin Godzilla collection anytime soon, if at all. Which is okay because there's more than enough Sun Guts, and there's more than enough Sarajirushis now and gigantic Godzillas coming out that I'd rather have those if I'm being completely transparent. So, but the impact was wide. It is one of Toho's favorite marketing Godzillas, and it is, as a Shin Godzilla fan, it's a lot of fun. I don't mind it at all, besides the fact that it hurts my wallet. Because now, so just talking about Wonderfest 23, Summer Wonderfest 2023, there was four X Plus, or not X Plus, there's four gigantic, hey Mark, how's it going, buddy? How's it going? There was four Shin Godzilla Giant figures revealed. We had the Omega Beast collaboration figures with X Plus Gigantic, the favorite sculptures line. So the two that Omega Beast are releasing, X Plus is doing a collaboration release of both those figures. So we have a standard one, and I believe the Rick is a clear red. So there's those two, and then the Omega Beast original versions are coming out as well. That is, even though I'm the Bandai guy, I'm not too keen on trying to get those the Shins one. Yeah, they're expensive. They're super expensive nowadays. A lot of them. It just blows my mind how expensive they are. So there's those four, and then Spiral Studios showed off their Roaring and their Awakening, which is the same mold, besides the mouth. And those are the jaw drops for me. Especially we have, I don't know if Spiral talked about it. I'm guessing they did. They announced the dimensions of those figures, the two Spiral Shin Godzilla releases, and my jaw dropped when I saw one of my friends who's also a big avid Shin Godzilla collector, when he posted the height and the length for those figures. So the X Plus Gigantic series figure, I think even the Roaring one is just like a little bit higher, 47 millimeters. No, excuse me, 47 centimeters. I have the tape measure. It's 47 centimeters, pretty much. With only the king scale vinyl and the original. I still need to get a Kamada-kun and a Kanagawa-kun. But that's it, yeah. They're a lot of fun. I mean, Omega Beast, if you want some larger ones, just announced. I think they just released their set. And they have a first form, which doesn't have a lot of figures, so your boy is getting those. I saw those at G-Fest. They were in the Do Not Photograph section, and they were pretty impressive. So, but the Spiral Studios, let me finish that. This is 47 centimeters. The tentative size of the Spiral Studios is supposed to be 74 centimeters tall. So we're talking about this already gigantic scale figure, and they're almost going to double it. And I was going to buy both releases. I believe it's bigger than the Kyoto now. I think so. I think so. Where's my tape measure? I just want to show how much larger that is real quick. I don't know where I put it. I got really intoxicated on adult juice last night, so everything's kind of all around. Okay, I don't know where my tape measure is. I have one to get the heights. That's going to be an arm and a leg. Yeah, it's going to, it's going to be as expensive as the Ghidorah that's out now, which it's going to be the same size as the Ghidorah, which is an interesting thing because Spiral Studio announced that each film, so the figures within a film are going to be in scale, but I thought they suggested it was only going to be the films and not every figure in the Legacy series was going to be in size, correct scale with everything. But if the Shin is 74 centimeters and the Ghidorah is 74 centimeters, that works. Because Heisei Ghidorah is only 120 meters, and Shin Godzilla is just under that. And Godzilla is literally going to be the same size, if not bigger than Ghidorah. Also, the tail, thankfully they fixed it so X+1 has the swoop. The Spiral Studios is just straight back. And I guess from the one end to the other, it's 102 centimeters. And to me, that Shin is one to go for sure, yeah. So it's going to be 74 centimeters tall, tentatively, and 102 centimeters long. I think they're making it the biggest Shin that's available, which is crazy and very scary. So I might be only able to get one because the price is probably going to be expensive. For that size, it's fine. And for space, because I don't even know where I'm going to put them. And I still have to find space for the, wait, so a straight point, well, not like straight like that. It's the typical Shin Godzilla pose. This one, it'll be like this. It swoops. It kind of swoops up a little bit more, but it's still supposed to be 100 some centimeters long. Actually, I can show you guys. So here they are. Here's these aren't great screenshots. These were the early versions. I forgot to go to Spiral's page and take the high definition photos. So here's the roaring version. And you can see that tail. It does kind of curve a little bit and then it curves out. And there's the updated. This is the one we got teased. This is the roaring mouth one. This is the one we saw early May, I think. They showed us the InDesign. And then the other thing that they showed off that hasn't gone on by yet, the Spiral Studios vinyl monsters Shin Godzilla release. This is limited to 50 at the convention, and then I think it's getting a re-release in November, sometime in the fall, I think, tentatively. So, but I wanted to get one because, I'm a Shin Godzilla guy. It's a great mold, and it's big. It is really, really big. I think it's going to be here. So I don't have the photo. Let's take this down quick. So here's the 2019 they did, the Legacy series. Okay, so the Spiral Studios, or the Spiral Toys Safubi will be about the same size as the Sarajirushi, give or take, which is big. Sarajirushi is big, big boy. Let's take it back to this first photo real quick. So if you guys can see, there is the Master Line Burning Godzilla. That figure is shorter, besides the wings, is shorter than Shin Godzilla on his base. Just saying. It's if you guys want better photos, go to the Spiral Studios Instagram or Facebook. They, at the end of the day, they shared a lot of photos and a lot of video, and you can see the scale of how absolutely beastly big this Shin Godzilla is. It is ridiculous. But thankfully, it takes the spot of the Kyoto because it's going to be massive, and I won't need the Kyoto, which recently went back up in price. It's about $3,000 before shipping, and shipping on it is not fun. So, as a Shin Godzilla collector, I'm pretty happy about that. Although, okay, I'll have to look later. Yeah, and then pre-orders, I think they're not solidified yet, but I think the two Shins will be up for pre-order before the end of the year. Maybe. I don't know. That would be my guess. They'll be up for pre-order by the end of the year, probably. We still have 5 months to go, so we'll see. So that's the Wonderfest Shins. Otherwise, as you guys can see, this whole table is a absolute ass ton of Shins. I have almost one of every Shin available on the market right now. Almost. Like I said, I don't have the gigantic Kyoto. I don't have any of the Omega Beast figures, which the only ones that are available are the Roaring ones and the Awakening ones. Their standard ones haven't come out yet. And if I get that figure, I'm going to wait for the X Plus ones because they might be a little bit more cheaper because they should be vinyl. Lots of shiny. Yeah. Yeah. But I have just about everything. I have the Gigantic, I have the Defo, I have the Giant Marmot, Sun Guts, Sargerushi, more Sun Guts, Passion Tank right here, Marmots, Bandai's, One-Ups, the Monster Arts, the mini Sargerushis, this beautiful little guy down here, the Gashapon. So nice. I'm missing the Sega, the Van Presto, which I don't know if I'm going to get those. I might be a Shin Godzilla collector, but I don't need absolutely everything available on the market. As much as it would be cool to be like, I have at least one version of these figures. I'm very picky. It's why I don't have any of the Omega Beasts yet. Just something about the Roaring ones, the face that I'm not super personally crazy about. They looked nice. When I saw them in person, I was blown away. I thought they looked way better in person than online photos, but I don't know. Maybe not for that price. And now their new standard one, although does look good, there's something in the head and neck region that just, I don't know. If I'm going to be buying a really expensive Shin Godzilla, I want either a really accurate one or I just want one that looks absolutely ferocious. This guy is a good mix of both, and the Spiral Studios is going to be an even better mix of both and then larger. So, but I have Shin Godzilla stuff on the way. So if you guys haven't joined yet, which I know Mark, you're in the group on Facebook, the Collecto Monster Collectors group, that's where I do all my live streams for the unboxings. I have some crazy ass box days coming up this week. Hopefully. The Bai boxes, I don't know if they're actually going to get here in time. I'm still waiting for the consolidation approval. I'll put it this. They told me they didn't recommend me consolidating the 6 figures I had, or the five figures I had together because they were afraid Customs was going to send it back. Just leaving it there. It is an absolutely wild box day. I didn't get to spend at G-Fest. Life has been pretty crazy this year, but some things happened right after G-Fest and allowed me to pretty much have a G-Fest at home. So that's what it's going to be. I'm going to be saving pretty much my box days for the next week and doing it all at once, not just the Bayou ones. I have like 9 things coming in. Oops. And One of the things that will come later next week is the Shin Godzilla box. I've been waiting for a Passion Tank kit to arrive, and it's just taking its sweet time. So I decided, because I was bidding on a few smaller Shin stuff, I decided that I would just ship the other 5 things out, and then I'll just have a Shin Godzilla box later in probably about 2 weeks. So be on the lookout for that. It's crazy stuff. We have Mondo next week. We have a Monster Arts, which I might open early because I don't think I can hold myself back from opening that. That should be here tomorrow. We have a Seismic Toys G-Fest exclusive on the way because I wasn't able to pick it up. And then the Bai box, which glitter. There's a lot of glitter. Really nice stuff that I got for deals, and I just decided now's the time to get them. Once I get a version of these, I don't have to get any more. Some big stuff too. Big stuff. For Safubi. It's pretty much all Safubi. All of it's Safubi besides one Bandai. A certain G-Fest or G-Store exclusive just dropped. So I was able to throw him in one of the boxes. I can't wait for him either. 73 Godzilla is going to be so good. So kind of went off on scale advertising for myself, self-plugging, but so be in the Collectible Monsters Collectors group. I'll actually advertise for that. I want people to be there. I thought about doing it on YouTube, but I like doing my unboxings in cam, and then if the stream turns out really well, like for how I handle things and pacing and stuff, maybe I'll make a highlights version of it, and I'll upload a condensed version of it on YouTube. Maybe. Like I've been kind of doing with the Gigantics. I still have the last 4 Gigantics I have to cut down and upload to YouTube, so that'll be a bonus video released sometime here. So, especially on that guy. He's one of them, the 89. Beautiful figure. I have 4 people watching. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching, stopping out. Mark, thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it, man. It's fun talking about Shin. It's fun just sitting in front of the camera, live streaming, talking with you guys, and talking about Godzilla or Tokusatsu. But I mean, I have a lot of fun talking with Shin. Shin is the passion. Obviously, I think I counted it, not counting the figures that aren't here that are mine because I bought them and they're on the way. I think there's 20 Shin Godzillas up here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 20, 23, 24 figures. So I absolutely love it. I'm going to keep buying from it. Hopefully going to be getting some second and third form figures. That's kind of what I want to focus on a little bit here for the end of the year because they're a little bit more inexpensive. You know, I got to start watching my budget. This big collection of box days after this. I'm calling down pre-order stuff and then maybe every now and then a Maru-san or 2. But besides that, it's going to be pretty quiet for me unboxing wise. The YouTube channel, planning on doing 2 videos a week. 2 reviews most likely. I have, I think, 30 some videos in the chamber. So, you know, you guys got a year's worth of entertainment, not counting all the other stuff that I do and everything that I buy. So, hot sauce streams as well are coming out very soon. I'll tell you guys this. So the Shin Godzilla box and the Passion Tank that I'm buying, it's just a blank purple kit. They're how do I put it? Because I don't want to tease too much of it quite yet. That figure is going to produce, hopefully, what I'm hoping, and for the few people that know about what's going to happen with that figure, one of the coolest and hopefully one of the most community engaging experiments so far, especially for me. I think that Passion Tank figure and the plans for that figure is going to be the biggest thing I'll do as a person in the community. And I cannot wait to talk about it, but I can't yet. I can't. There's too many moving pieces, and there's a few of them that are swinging by a thin thread that are just waving around that I haven't grabbed and set in place. So be on the lookout for that. It will start after the live stream, or once I get it in hand. And the first video, so the first video I can talk about this because this is something I'm guaranteed doing. I'm going to make a video on how to build the kit. I know I have, especially now that I'm moving away from SHMA and Bandai, I'm having a lot of new collectors that are new to Sofubi, even if you're not going to buy them, if you check out the videos, which I thank you for watching the content. I know it's kind of jarring having a YouTuber be, for the last almost 3 years, be very focused on certain parts of collecting, and then 90-degree turn and completely change the channel. I do understand that's jarring. I get it. Sofubi, especially for my newer fans, Sofubi's kind of hard, or newer Godzilla fan viewers, I should say, that are into the community. It's hard to get into Sofubi if you're on a budget, or if Godzilla is like a mini part of your collection and you collect other things that are major. It's hard to get into Sofubi because Sofubi it's a little bit bigger. You need a little bit bigger of a budget for it. But I want to start showing the fun side of it. It's why I try to focus. I've focused on the colors of Sofubi. I've tried not to show off the expensive stuff and tried showing some of the fun, more inexpensive options that are colorful and different to show you guys that Sofubi is fun, which Mark, mainly a Bandai guy, but you've got some Sofubi, correct? If I remember correctly, you collect a little bit of Sofubi. It's fun. Sofubi is a lot of fun. It's why it's the Passion and the Gigantics. It's a lot of fun. So I wanna help just introduce that to a lot of my friends here on YouTube. So there will be a Passion Tank building video. How to put it? It's kind of going to be a tutorial. It's pretty much going to be me showing, but I'm not going to it's not going to be like an hour and a half long video because it took me an hour to build the last two blanks, and I don't want all that dead space. So it'll pretty much be me explaining what I'm doing, showing a bit of it, and then I'll super speed through that section, and then I'll move on to a different piece and show you. I'm still a beginner at this as well, and that's kind of also the fun part, that it's going to be an experience building for me and for you guys. You guys will start to see the beginning pieces. I'm still like, oh yeah, no, it's okay, Mark. It's okay. Thank you for sticking around and just listening. I really appreciate it. I'm going to show the beginning stages of my Sofubi kit building journey because that's kind of where I want to move to, and then other things in the future that'll relate to that Passion Tank. So be on the lookout for that, guys. It's going to be insanely crazy and hype, and it's going to be so much fun. So much fun. Even if you're not interested in Sofubi, if you're not interested in Shin, I promise you guys it's going to be such a fun thing. I don't have any of them, but I do love all the Sun Guts. Yeah, Sun Guts puts out amazing stuff. I'm still missing two Sun Guts figures in my collection. I need the glitter blue, which is really hard to find, and I need the translucent red version of this, but it looks like it's layered. I think so these are dark vinyl with red painted on it, and I believe that one is red translucent with the black painted on it, but it looks layered. It looks like it's filled. It's really nice. Those two are harder to find. Those are two original releases, so those are the two I need. I need them. But So be on the lookout for that. Um, Man, I had another thing. No, I've kind of forgot. Oh, yeah. So the schedule. So 2 videos a week, and then live streams are going to be happening at least once a month, twice a month. I haven't fully. I don't have a schedule yet. I'm going to try to make sure I actually make videos and reels for you guys, so you actually know that they're happening rather than just kind of going live. So, but I just enjoy sitting here talking in the camera, and I want the red one they did, and the somewhat normal one. Yeah, there's actually, I believe the somewhat normal one is actually on. I believe there's one on Bai right now. It's a little spendy because it's the first one, but just something to maybe go and check. Um, that's the one thing I'm trying to stay away from with Shin Godzilla is the regular colors or blank red copies because every company is doing a blank red. So that's the big thing I'm trying to focus, or I'm trying to move away from, but obviously I won't because every company is going to do a blank red. It's Shin Godzilla's colors. It's either a blank red or a blank purple. And I'm still going to eat them up. What can I say? It's my vice. This guy, Shin Godzilla. So, um, I guess that's about it. The beginning of the live stream really talked about the movie and my 5 big scenes from the movie. And now we've kind of just sat here talking about collectibles. I guess maybe just for the people watching, if there's anyone who's newer to collecting or newer to Shin Godzilla collecting, uh, I would start out with the Bandais. If you don't have a large budget, the Bandais are great. I'll just show it. This is the standard one. I think he got a reissue recently. I've seen a lot of them pop up. He's larger than most of the other Bandais. He's long, pretty detailed. Paint's pretty good in most places. The eyes are kind of funky on some copies. But then if there's the second form, the third form, these are really good. These are really, really good. There's a Safubi Shin for everyone, or there's a Shin Godzilla figure for everyone, all across the board. You got your highly detailed ones. There's some crazy model kits out there of Shin. There's the marmots for mostly movie accurate kind of Safubi. The passion tanks are really accurate, but with a fair amount of stylization. The Sun Guts are completely stylized. The Sarajurushi is probably just the best Safubi Shin Godzilla mold out there. Without having the Spiral Toys kit in hand, this is the best right now. Might change once I get that Spirals one. The King Scale, yeah, I actually have to track that one down. The King Scale, the large King series Shin. He's in there. If you guys don't mind defos, there's this one, the giant defo, which you can still kind of get around retail on Bai. Shipping's gonna be a little bit murder. The original smaller, the 6-inch scale ones, the regular size ones, those are expensive. But if you have a budget, I mean, whatever in your budget, are pretty good. Sarajurushi has these like minis. These aren't like super expensive for Safubis. These are really nice. These are super detailed. I cannot wait to review this set. It's probably going to be a while, seeing as I just did 3 Shin Godzilla videos, one after another, and this live stream. So, and then there's of course the giant. This guy is pretty much sold out everywhere now, though. So you might have to pay the second and third hand market prices for him. Good luck. He has gotten like 2 reissues now, though, so he probably will pop into the Godzilla store a few times. I would just watch there if you want this figure. He's very nice. He's very, very, very nice. I completely do recommend getting him if you're a giant scale collector. If you can track down a purple one, or either of the Ricks, then the translucent red is perfect, which is the new color mold for Shin. It's blank reds and translucent clear red figures. Those are the ones we're getting a lot of. So I would expect more. I would assume Bandai is going to re-release the mold some way or another. You know, you never know. You never know. Um, but I'm kind of getting to the point where I feel like I don't have a lot to talk about left, at least without guests. So I'm going to call it a wrap, guys. Mark and my four viewers that are the other three that are watching, thank you guys for sticking around, watching the stream, listening to me kind of bumble about Shin. I I love Shin Godzilla. That's just the end of it. I love Shin Godzilla. It's my favorite film. If you guys weren't here for the beginning half, I do recommend going back and watching it. I kind of bumble around. I talk about the movie a little bit, and I talk about scenes. Um, it's fun, and I I do. I'll probably do a follow-up stream talking with people about their collective feelings of Shin because I can sit here and talk about Shin all day and night. Um, and the G Fest Part 2 stream is coming. I know I said it would probably be this week, but things and schedules flipped and changed. Um, so next month, early next month, could even be next weekend. Just saying, could be next weekend, maybe next Sunday, a week from now. I have to see schedules. Schedules are changing for everyone. Work schedules are busy. Um, but be on the lookout for that. That's going to be with Matt, Kaiju Fanatic, Ian, Big Man in Japan. I think my friend Corey will be in there. Joseph will be joining again. Adam might make another appearance, and we might see. I might try to get one or two more people. I try not to get more than 6. StreamYard kind of freaks out for some people once you get to the 6 people range. So be on the lookout for that. There's going to be a lot of conversation with that one. That one's probably going to be a little bit longer than the last one, which we kept that one at 2 hours. Hats off to us. But that one's going to be crazy. More G-Fest stories. More just talking about Octeal and his amazing Kaiju Cream release. I'm going to try. It's just impossible. That awesome. And then just talking about everyone we met and conversated. It's going to be fun. I don't want to spoil it too much. There's going to be some changes with the stream too that are going to be hilarious. So thank you everyone who's watched, stopped out, or if you're rewatching this after the stream, thank you guys for checking it out. Hopefully you guys had a good Shin week. If you guys haven't checked out the Shin Godzilla figure reviews that I've done this week, please check them out. A lot of fun. Sargers, who was fun, the Marmot, the Sun Guts. The rest of the figures that I haven't reviewed will come out periodically. I don't want to just shove Shin Godzilla down everyone's throats. I know it's not everyone's favorite design or movie, even if it's mine, and I love it unapologetically. The dog just coughed outside. So be on the lookout for those. I can say there is a Shin Godzilla review coming up within the next week. One of the box days, one of the singular ones by itself, that will be getting a review very soon. That, besides the gigantic, might be the pinnacle of Shin Godzilla figures for me. We'll see. We'll see. But that's going to be all, guys. Thank you, everyone, for stopping out, sticking around. I really do appreciate it. I cannot wait to do more live streams. These are always fun, whether it's just me or with guests. So I promise to actually announce earlier in the day or a day before when I'm doing these so people can see if it fits into their schedule. But thank you guys for taking the time out of your day and listen to me ramble. Thanks again, Mark. Thanks to everyone watching. We got 5 viewers. Thank you, guys. This is Kaiju Addict, your host. As I always say at the end of my videos, peace, rock on, stay safe. Remember to go to Facebook, go to that search bar, go up to that search bar, type in Collect All Monster Collectors, answer your security questions, and join the discussion with 2,000 other wonderful, amazing tokusatsu collectors and just fanatics of all different types of figures, kind of like this table, different figures, different arrays of figures, and have a wonderful day, everyone. Enjoy your Shin week. Sayonara, everyone. Bye-bye. And oh, we're still live. Bye, guys.